Welcome, fellow KISS fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a KISS fan. Tonight, I thought we would take a look at some of the Madison Square Garden, New York City merch that I purchased at the last two final shows. Credit cards would have needed to be on life support to buy everything. So I didn't really pick up too much, but what I did pick up, I love. Thought I would share that tonight. And when I say credit cards on life support, it's because of these two jackets. The black and white one from the pop-up store was super cool. Had like these lightning bolt designs on the sleeve, and the back of the jacket was amazingly cool. The blue jacket at the Madison Square Garden store really got me. It has those icon symbols on the sleeve, which I am not a fan of those icon symbols, but it also had Madison Square Garden actually on the back of the jacket. Sold right there, but again, $350 for a jacket is out of my price range for a jacket standalone, let alone a KISS jacket. So just did not pull that, but both awesome pieces. And as far as shirts went, I didn't really see any shirts at the pop-up store that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. The only shirts that were event specific, December 1st or December 2nd, didn't have Madison Square Garden on it. That 2019 shirt I have with the garden like in full scope just blew me away. And so everything I saw at this event kind of fell lackluster. So I passed on all shirts. But what really blew me away at the pop-up store was this. This pendant to me has such a 70s vibe. I had to have it. And I just immediately thought how cool it's going to be to hang up in the Wax Night Basement 2.0 when it is complete. It just, to me, has that vibe of a kid going to see Dynasty hanging on his wall, New York City, December 1st and 2nd, 1979. You know, it just has that vibe to it, and I loved it. This was my main purchase of merch from the final show, and I could not be happier. This thing has that vintage feel, and that is magic. And speaking of vintage feel, there's nothing more fun than 1970s and 80s parking lot shirts. There were abundant parking lot shirts for sale as you left the garden, and I picked up one of these because I just thought, you know what, it would be fun to have a parking lot shirt, and on the back it actually mentions Madison Square Garden and the dates. So I was completely sold, and then after I purchased it, I noticed it had these guys as the band members on the back. Now, somebody had left a comment that this is a tribute band from Florida. I don't know about that, but I do know that this is the greatest picture of KISS I've ever seen in my entire life. And it adds to the magic of parking lot shirts. Because parking lot shirts are supposed to be kind of bad. Kind of almost so bad they're good. And if you say something is so bad it's good, it is this t-shirt. So glad I picked this up. I will never be able to find one of these again. And I won the parking lot shirt contest. I talked to a lot of people on night 2 who also bought this and did not notice the band members until they got back to their hotel, and we all had a good laugh at the magic of this parking lot shirt. Of the non-purchased merch, actual KISS Week merch, we were able to pick up the second day of the post, but we missed the first day. We did show up on time for the second day. It was at the Empire State Building, and it was chaos because KISS was actually there, and it was mass chaos. All the taxis were there. KISS was there. The line was long. Of the 3, I liked this cover the best. Classiest one of the 3, so I'm glad we got this one, and the poster inside is pretty cool. So it has that on the inside. 1973 2023, New York City. That's badass. The Metro card was super cool. That was our first order of business. Showing up in New York City was getting that Metro card. And very cool to get. A nice little memento of the week. And speaking of mementos of the week, when we walked in night 1, these bracelets were on everyone's seat. And they are light up bracelets that the sound guy triggers to go along with the music. So that was pretty cool to see that. See it blinking on your wrist to your favorite song. Of course, mine was I Was Made for Loving You. So I filmed a little bit of that here. And one of the most absolutely fun days of the entire week was the Prince Street Pizza Day. We showed up very first thing, met a very cool group of fans from Australia, met a dad and son from Denmark, met another couple from the UK. Just super cool to hang out with KISS fans and talk, especially from around the world. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats pizza either. This pizza was delicious. It was expensive. But what are you going to do? Like, how many times are you going to be able to go in and buy a KISS pizza with a KISS pizza box? Now, the boxes were big, and on the last night when we're packing to come home, I said, oh great, the pizza box doesn't fit into my Madison Square Garden bag. So I was like, screw it, I got to get on the plane. So I cut my box. But thinking about the Wax Night basement and how I'm going to do it, I don't really want a pizza box sitting around. I'm going to frame this anyway. Kind of look cool as a poster. I was there. I remember buying the pizza. I remember eating the pizza out on the street at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's all that matters. It's cool as hell. Speaking of mementos, the coolest memento is this. And when we were standing out front before we went into night 2, I said, wouldn't it be awesome if they had like buttons like they did for Live 2? I was there buttons. Of course, there was nothing. There was the bracelet again the second night, and it did say December 2nd, so it was different than the first. So that was pretty cool. But then as we're leaving, I run into Todd, and he had kind of like a look of fear on his face, and he said, get in that line right now. And so I walk back, and I get in this line, and it is chaos. I mean, we're just being pushed and shoved. It felt like those Black Friday videos you used to see. And the Madison Square Garden people just kept saying, take what they're giving you and leave. Almost like angry, like being pushed out. So I grabbed this box, walked outside, opened it up, and it's this. It is one of the golden tickets that they were offering on the pay-per-view, given to us as we left, numbered with a certificate of authenticity. And my number is 6,427. And it says, this certificate guarantees that this is 24 karat gold plated ticket is a limited edition production collectible and only created for fans attending one of the final shows. And on the back it has the band's signatures. There you go. Live Nation presents The End of the Road. Final 2 shows at Madison Square Garden, New York. 7323, End of the Road, with those KISS logos going around and around like Dressed to Kill. And this thing's pretty heavy, which this is a pretty cool gift from the band. I will hand it to KISS for doing something super cool at the end of their concert and passing these out to all the people. This sure beats a I was there button that I was thinking we are going to get. This is a pretty cool memento and something I will cherish for a very long time. And this nice little padded box. Thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia with us here in the Wax Night front room. We're not in the Wax Night basement anymore, so we gotta feed the dog up here in the front room. You know how it is. You gotta do with what you have. And Pee-wee says, I have my daddy home, and I have my Pee-wee back again. So, glad to be home. Glad. It was a very fun week, but a long one, and lots of people, lots of chaos, lots of fun. But I'm glad to be back with Pee-wee. Be good to your babies, spay, neuter, microchip, take care, be safe. We will talk to you